Yeah. Before I take any questions, I just want to, thank Beaver Nation. The coaching staff, the educational process, the fans. It's been one big family, and I couldn't thank you guys more. I'll always be a Beaver to the day I die. So I will always be drinking that Beaver juice, no matter where I'm at. And I just want to thank everyone.
Brandin, what can you tell us about why did you come to this decision? You obviously got some intel from the NFL. What did they tell you about your draft grade, your draft potential?
It's been a long season, and as far as the grade that I got back, I would rather not share that right now. But sat down with my family, and we went over that, and the potential to pursue my dream that I've been chasing my whole life, and what better can I get right now? And it's been a great process. I'm sad about leaving Beaver Nations, but my family and I came down to an agreement.
There is a date where one can change one's mind. With the intel you've gotten, is it a go full force, or is there more information that could come in that might change that?
That I know of, it's a full go process. But who knows what can happen in the next couple of weeks and things like that. But right now, I have my head straight going towards the draft.
Do you know about when you thought this might be your decision?
It was after the season, after the Oregon game. We had a downtime. I thought about it, but then once we found out we were going to a bowl game, I pushed it behind me and focused on my teammates and focused on our bowl game and getting the win for this program. And that's what it's been about. And after the bowl game, I went home and sat down with my family once again. Now that the season was officially done.
I assume you talked to Coach Riley and Coach Brandin a lot in this process, and what advice did they give you?
Well, one thing they said, always sit down with your family, but they've been great through this process, really supportive, not swaying me any other way. They told me do what's best for me, and whether that's coming back to the program or whether that's leaving, that's up to my family and I. But, they're a great support through this process, just like the whole time I've been here. They're like another family to me, and I knew whatever they had to say was coming from the heart, not coming from a coaching standpoint.
You're usually pretty goofy, and you're sitting up there looking really serious right now. Is this a good day, though, a good thing?
It's a great day. It's my dream my whole life, since I was born, and I knew about football, and I knew what the NFL was. But also a sad day because I'm leaving a bunch of good people, my friends and my teammates that mean the world to me, and the coaching staff that mean the world to me and help me out, shape me to the player that I am today.
Who was the first person you told outside of your family?
Storm.
What was his reaction?
Yeah, well, he started crying. He was obviously happy. There were happy tears, but, he cried for a little bit. And, he was proud of me and, said all these wonderful things and, telling me how much I motivate him and, all that type of stuff. But it was a sad moment on the phone, a little heart-to-heart with a guy who I call my brother. Yeah.
What about when you told Coach Riley and Coach Brandin, and did you have to have both those conversations over the phone because you've all been different places?
We've all been out. Coach Riley had contacted me, and, I got to, I called him back again after this and talked to him a little bit more, and obviously talked to Coach B a little more. Like you said, we've been all out the office, so I'll talk to him again after this.
Have you signed with an agent yet?
No, I haven't.
Have you come to a verbal agreement with one?
Not yet. I'm still in the interview process, going over that type of things.
I assume you came back up here at this time to clean out your apartment, get your stuff. Are you going to go train, or are you going to take any winter classes?
I'll still be taking classes, but I'll be training somewhere else. I'm still deciding where I'm going to train at, but I'm enrolled in online classes because that's a big part of this process. I promised my mom and myself that I'll get my degree, and I'm pretty close, so I don't want to take a long time on coming back and getting that degree.
Did you reach out to Marcus Wheaton, any other James Rogers? What was their advice in making the decision?
Both the guys, Marcus and James, if I do come out, the degree is a huge part of it. And they were just telling me, not to slack and not to, push it on the side. So that was definitely great advice because, a lot of, what they said, a lot of guys, wait for a little bit and come back to school. But they just said, since I don't have that much left, just go ahead and tack it, and get it over with.
You're very close with your family, your mom and your brothers. Was it emotional when you came to this decision for them? Your mom?
It was emotional, but once again, happy tears. Obviously, I looked straight to my mom when it happened, and she's just crying. But but it was all happiness around a great time, around Christmas and the New Year, so and the holidays. So it was just just the top off the season. Yeah.
Coach Losey, what has Brandin meant to this program, and what does it mean that he has put himself in the position to leave early?
Well, number one, he's earned this whole opportunity, and from the day he showed up on campus, he was a leader by example, hard worker, and I didn't think there was going to be anybody that'd be better than James Rogers. But and that's a big reason why Brandin came here was because of James. And James, great leader, great role model. Brandin, the same thing, filled those shoes up and maybe expanded them a little bit. And so Brandon's left a legacy, and he's passing that on, passing that torch. And the way he played every game, every play, every practice was absolutely special. And again, legacy-wise, just real proud of what he has left. And we will always be a Brandin Cooks fan as well here. So we're proud of that and proud of what he's accomplished. Looking forward to what he's going to do. Got a lot of confidence in him. Just mental attitude, focus, degree, that's going to happen. And he's got a great support with his family and other friends that'll help him through this whole process. So we feel confident as a staff, too, about that whole process.
Brandin, you came here. This school and this program is set on running a pro style. The rest of the country has sort of fallen in love with the spread. What do you think, if you could talk to younger receivers, why would you tell them to come here? What still works about the system you guys run?
Well, the pro style system, obviously, every kid's dream is to go to the NFL, and that's what NFL teams are running. And like you said, a lot of teams around the country are, shying away from that, the spread offense, things of that nature. But if you want to be a true receiver, from my perspective, a pro-style offense is the way to go. And you can't be coached any better by a guy like Coach Riley. And his system has been amazing. He put out plenty of receivers that has been successful, through the time of him being here. Going back to Mike Hass, going back to Marcus Wheaton, James Rogers, those type of guys. And it doesn't matter what size you are, you can succeed in this offense.
Coach Losey, is Brandin, just after 3 years, the best receiver to ever come through this program?
Well, I've been here not entire tenure, 100 years for the program, but I think you got to say he has been obviously the most productive. And whether you can quantify, he ranks up extremely special with James, Marcus, Mike Hass. So if not the best, he is right there with them. They're all that's a heck of a group of guys right there.
Brandin, as you go to train, what are you going to work on improving? What do you think your game? Where do you need to take steps up in your game?
All around, I can become a better player in all aspects of my game. So that's what this training process is about. Is just to fine tune those little techniques that maybe you're lacking right now. And so like I said, I can improve in everywhere. But my main focus is to put down a 40 time that's shocking.
Do you have a favorite memory from being here? A favorite moment?
There's so many, but I'll probably have to say the Utah game on the road, in a crazy atmosphere like that, and playing with a bunch of guys that that never gave up. And that was one thing about this team is we played as one. It was like one for all for one, because no one ever put their head down. It was a battle. It was a shootout going back and forth, and we kept our head up and end up with the win, and came back home late at night and had some fun. So that was probably one of my favorite memories.
How much of a distraction, or was it a distraction at any point this year as your stock was rising and there was more chatter about you potentially coming out early?
No, not a distraction at all. Coach B did a great job keeping me focused on the season. And, I never looked at those type of things because I didn't want to get caught up in that. Like you said, there are projections. No one knows for sure. So I didn't want to look at that. I want to focus on my teammates and, being the best teammate I can be and, help us win games. I didn't want to be selfish throughout this process.
Did it ever get to where Coach Riley had to, have a conversation with you about, look, this is happening, here's how we handle these things, or did it even come up?
No, it never came up. It was more of he knows the type of guy that I am, man, that I wasn't worried about those type of things. And I was just putting my focus into my team. And in the next week or whatever the game was that next week, I never focused on, my draft stock is rising or any of that because it's just a draft stock. Teams don't know what they're doing at this point.
Have you heard from anyone from the other side about Coach Riley and his system and him personally and how well-liked he is amongst the NFL and his experience being in the NFL, about how that is advantageous for you in how they look at you coming in, that it was good for you to play in his system and here at Oregon State?
Oh, I haven't, heard that from a guy from NFL standpoint, but you hear it around the nation. At Pac-12 Media Day, Coach Riley, is the man. Everyone loves Coach Riley. So, from that standpoint and hearing from like Coach Neuheisel, who recruited me, now that's working for the Pac-12 network, he always tells me, I knew you were going to be successful in that type of system. And, he had great things to say about Coach Riley and his system, and I'm pretty sure, plenty of people do around the nation.
For Coach Losey, this 4 guys have gone early, and it's all happened within the last 10 years. What is Coach Riley and the staff's philosophy on what you tell kids? Because it's kind of a new thing, really, relatively speaking, for football players to go early, and it doesn't happen very often, but it's all bunched up in the last 10 years. What's the philosophy on how you kind of lead the youngsters when they're going through a thing like this?
I think Brandin hit it. I mean, number one, stay focused on this year, and Brandin was awesome with the way he handled that all year long. So number one, finish strong, finish what you got going here, and then just let things play out. If kids are interested in finding out where they might sit, there's a form to fill out, and you can go with the NFL, and I think DVD helped out with all that stuff. So the staff works with our guys to, if that's their desire, if that's their way they want to go, then we will help them with that whole process. And for some, it may not, it's individual. I think Brandin shared that with you about, it's up to me and my family. It's something we got to decide. And Mike, coaches, assistant coaches, everybody's going to add their 2 cents and try to be the wise counsel. But understand there's some circumstances that, boy, it's best that they go. Their stock is high, let's go. And I think Brandin's situation is a great example of that. And I think, anyway, it's just everything's individual.
Brandin, did you have conversations with Sean Mannion and Scott Creighton during this process? They're the other 2 players that are contemplating.
Not really. After the bowl game, while sitting at home, they text me here and there and just talk to me and, see what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking. But as far as having a real conversation about, what they're doing, we haven't had that conversation.
Did anyone try to talk you out of going pro, like Storm?
No. He, whatever, he just said he was going to support me no matter what. And that's what, so far the feedback that I got back was, people are going to support me whether I go or I don't go. So, and that's what, that's what Beaver Nation is all about. They're a supportive group, and, I thank them for that. Even the fans, down to the fans, they said the same thing. So, I never really had someone trying to persuade me either way.
Was there anyone that it was really fun to tell that you were going to go?
Just my family. That was the fun part of it. But that's it. Yeah.
Brandin, sorry I came a little late. Can you just talk about the ultimate decision? What did it come down to for you, whether it was one thing or a group of things to make your decision?
It came down to a couple of things. Just talking with my family, and am I in the best position to go, and things like that. But it's nothing that was really serious. I guess it was just more of a what's best for myself. Yeah, and that's really it.
Was potentially getting injured a factor? Did you think about that? I mean, James came back?
Me and saying about coming back.
Yeah.
No, I put that in God's hand. That's my faith. If I get injured, that's what it's meant to be. But I went through 3 years without getting injured, and He held me high in that standpoint. So I'm pretty sure He could have did it again. Coming next year.
So the timeline for you is pack up your stuff, go home, go train somewhere, come back for pro day?
NFL Combine, then pro day. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
How close are you for graduation? Are you on target?
I should be done by next winter. Yeah.
And you're certain within yourself and your family that that's something you'll continue to do, even if
Oh, no matter what.
you get
I'll
distracted?
be the first one in my family to get a degree. That's something I promised myself, like I said, and my mom. So I got to set the standard for my nieces and nephews and my kids later on down the future. So
What are you getting your degree in?
HDFS and a minor in communications.
What do you want to do when you grow up when you're not?
Sports broadcaster. I want to be in front of the camera.
You should talk to us more.
Brandon, can you talk a little about the reaction of your family again when you told them what they have to say? Talk a little about that.
Well, it was a process, but once we came down to the final decision, it was an emotional, atmosphere, but at the same time, like a happy one. They've been there every step of the way through the thick and thin. The bumps in the road. So they was real happy about it. And mom always ended, you make sure you get your degree. So yeah.
So obviously, special season. You're like 1 week back from Hawaii. Have you had a chance to really look and realize how great of a college football opportunity it was and what you did and how special that was this year?
Well, I look back at it, a lot of the things I did, I couldn't do without my teammates, and our coaching staff. They put me in the best position to succeed. Sean Mannion threw the ball where it needed to be. All I needed to do is put my hands out there and catch it. So, you got your O-lineman who's blocking to make it all happen, your running backs blocking on, pass protection. So it was all about the team, and if it wasn't for those guys, I wouldn't be in this position I am in today.
Anything else? Congratulations. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good job, Cookie.